see how this plays. Okay, it's been a minute since I've done this other streaming platform, so we're going to roll tonight so we can just see how it works. All right, good evening. I'm sorry. I'm using a new streaming platform, and so I'm trying to see how it's going to work. I didn't want to test it on Facebook. So Facebook, you all are on my phone, but I am on my Facebook group live. I'm on YouTube live. I'm on LinkedIn live, and I'm on Instagram live. We'll see. With this new streaming platform that I'm using. But what I wanted to jump on today was to show you all the actual thresholds of the 1099K forms. So if you all use CashApp, if you use Venmo, if you use PayPal, if you use Stripe, okay, there are going to be different limits depending on your state. All right, so I wanted you all to kind of see that, because even though the IRS, which covers federal, all right, and that's what you all have to remember, there's federal laws and then there's state laws. So even though the IRS decided to federally, right, state that they were not going to require you all to report the income limits on the 1099 at the $600 for everybody, some states are still doing that. So I just kind of wanted to break that down. It looks like Cash App. So the first one that I'm on, I'm gonna turn my camera around. Okay, so the first page that I'm actually on and reviewing right now is Stripe. Okay, so on Stripe, and there it is right there. On Stripe, it states that Stripe will issue reportable gross amount of total reportable payments exceeds $20,000, or that there are more than 200 transactions. Okay, but that's why I said you all want to maybe understand on the state level, because on the state level, do you see here? There are different dollar amounts. Okay, I just want to make sure that this phone is not showing in my screen. Okay, I don't want to show the phone on the video, so I'm gonna have to hold it down a little bit. Okay, so as you can see right here, Alabama, right? It says filing threshold same as the IRS. Alaska doesn't have a requirement. Arizona, Arkansas, see, same as IRS, but it says filing threshold is $2,500. So if you live in Arkansas and you made $2,500, they're going to send you a 1099. All right. California states that they're going to keep the same threshold as the IRS. Connecticut states that they're going to keep the same threshold as the IRS. Delaware, it's no data. District of Columbia, see, state, $600. So they're going to report to the IRS if your threshold is at minimum $600. So if you ran Stripe and you live in, District of Columbia, you're going to actually get a 1099K. So you want to just pay attention to that, because on the state level, like I'm in Illinois, and so on the state level, if you run Stripe, you're going to get a 1099 if you did $1,000 and 4 transactions. All right. So you all just kind of need to be aware of that, because some of these states are still requiring the reporting. So like here, Kansas is going to be the same as the IRS. Kentucky, same as the IRS. When it says 0 or same, it's keeping the same rulings of the IRS. Maryland, they're going to require you to report $600 of income or more. Massachusetts, they're going to report you to report $600 or more. Okay, so the states have gotten their own reporting thresholds, and you all want to make sure that you're aware of that. So when you get a 1099, Don't think that you don't have to file it with the state. All right. So federal taxes and state taxes are two different things. I kind of just want to come on here and show you can actually go on Stripe yourself, because I don't want to stay on this one screen too long. So the next one that I have pulled up is Square. All right. So with Square, same way. Square has stated, let's scroll down. So if you want to start here at the top just to kind of see, however, IRS has delayed the implementation of the 1099-K form for thresholds for 2023. Okay. But every state is deciding to report on their own. So same way here. Do I qualify for a 1099-K if you're using Square? Their 2023 reporting is more than 20,000 in gross sales and then 200 or more in transactions, right? That's their standard. But that's why I just said every state, the states have now come in and said, hey, we want to get our little money reported, right? So District of Columbia, you're going to get a 1099 from Square if you made more than $600. Illinois, again, I'm in Chicago. So many of you are in Chicago. If you're in Illinois, you're going to get a 1099 from Square if you made more than $1,000 in credit card payments and more than 3 transactions. Okay. So you just want to be aware of that, because you're going to have to report this income on your state return. You don't have to report that on the federal, but on your state, you do have to include that. So you want to be clear on that. Massachusetts with Square, $600 or more. Missouri, $1,200 or more. Vermont, $600 or more. Virginia, $600, right? And so this is why it's important for you all to know the type of tax forms that you may or may not receive when you're doing business. Okay, so that was Square that we just went over. Now let's go over Venmo. Some of you all are using Venmo. So Venmo states that, let me just make sure that again, it's not, the phone is not in there. Okay, cool. So Venmo states that same way, most of them are going to keep what the IRS is stating, right? So for 2023, the IRS will require reporting of payment transactions that exceed 20,200 in transactions. But again, here are certain states that are going to require you to report that income. So if you're in Maryland, you have to report that income over 600. Massachusetts, income over 600. Vermont, income over 600. Virginia, income over 600. And there again, we are Illinois. $1,000, any income that's $1,000 and 4 transactions, you're going to get a 1099. All right. So this is another reason why I was telling you all not to rush and file taxes in January, because you want to make sure that you have all of the proper paperwork that you need to file. The actual day that the IRS is starting to accept returns are the 29th on January. So you have, still a couple of weeks, and these companies have until January 31st to issue the 1099. So most of these, you all can just go onto the site, log into your account, and then go into like the tax forms or tax area, and then the form will be there. Sometimes they'll email you. Like today, we got an email from Stripe saying, hey, your 1099-K statement is ready. Okay. The other one that I wanted to do was, I did Stripe. I did Venmo. Oh, I got to do PayPal and CashApp. So I have CashApp here. CashApp will not report unless you all have an actual business account. Okay, so here's CashApp. There it is right there. IRS changes and business accounts. So good news for small businesses. Reporting thresholds for business accounts updated for tax year 2023. Now, again, they're going to follow with the IRS, because the IRS did not change the threshold this year for these particular companies. They kept it at the 20K. Right. So 1099-K if you receive more than 20,200 transactions in 2023. A $600 reporting threshold was originally set by the IRS, but they are delaying that. But some states are requiring you all. I think I'm not sharing this tab. Okay, there we go. But some states are actually requiring you all to report that income. Okay. I didn't see anything here on Cash App where it like broke down the different states. It did state this: personal accounts won't get a 1099K. If you have a business account, you'll see this little green bar next to your name. And then that way, you know, you have a business account. So if you're doing personal transactions on Cash App, you're not going to get a 1099. But if you have a business account on Cash App, then they're going to remain with the IRS and report that any income totaling 20,000 or more and 200. Okay, so I didn't see anything about by state on here. And then the last one that I wanted to go over, so I went over Venmo, we went over Square, we went over Stripe, and I went over, I got to do one more, which is PayPal. So I was on here earlier doing PayPal. And PayPal is the same. They do the $20,000 too, but I'm just going to actually show it to you all from the PayPal site so you can just see on your own, see exactly what they're stating. Okay, so there it is right there. And let me share this screen. So PayPal states it for 2023. They will report for more than 20,000 in sales and more than 200 in transactions. Now let's see if they have the states too. Now, so they do say that for residents in Vermont, Massachusetts, Virginia, or Maryland, you all will have to report that on the state income. So you will receive a 1099 if you did $600 or more. All right. So that's going to be by state. So that's why I was letting you all know. Some states are requiring you to report that 1099. And you have to remember that when you're doing your taxes, you have federal, which is IRS normally regulated taxes, and then you have state taxes. So there's two types of tax returns that we file during tax time. And so Illinois is not on here for PayPal. Great. All right. But for these 4 states, you all do have to report the PayPal 1099 if you get it. Okay. So quick and easy to the point today. Not going to be on here long. I really just wanted to come on here and stress that for you all. So that way, again, you know, and you're familiar with what forms you need to be waiting on, what forms you need to actually report on your tax return. And again, you have federal taxes and state taxes, so they're not the same. If you need assistance, I am working with new clients this year. My information is down here in this screen. I'll also come back on Facebook and put my links and everything in the comments. But again, just make sure that you all are filing all of your correct paperwork. You don't want to file too early with your taxes. I know a lot of people are promoting getting these tax advances and things like that right now. But before you do that tax advance, you need to make sure that you have all of your paperwork ready to file before you go apply for that advance. Okay. So a lot of people aren't necessarily stressing that. The IRS is not accepting returns right now officially. Right. They'll officially start the tax season on January 29th. And that is the first official day of tax season where they'll be accepting e-filed returns. Remember, the loans or advances that you all are doing right now are directly through the tax company that you're going through. Okay, that's the banking product that's giving you that loan. That's not the IRS that's giving you that loan, and your tax return has not officially been accepted right now either, just because you're doing in advance. All right, so I just want to state that. Other than that, I will be on tomorrow. What's tomorrow? Friday. I will be on tomorrow for Finance Friday to go over some more information for you all. So again, I am Patrice L. Stewart, the realest tax and business strategist that you will ever meet. I have that trademark. I do work with clients in all 50 states. I'm also a all year round office. We're open January through December. and we work in e-file in every single state. So I am an authorized e-file agent with the IRS. Okay, so hopefully this helped you all with the 1099K reporting, and have a good night.